right hand, you swear that the testimony you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Please state your name and business address for the record, and kindly spell your last name.
My name is Scott Rosenberg, president of Jonathan Namer and Associates at 7361 Calhoun Place, Suite 310, Rockville, Maryland.
Mr. Rosenberg, could you please give the board a brief summary of your employment history?
Sure. I'm a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey, valid. I'm also licensed in 25 more states across the country. We are a 25-year-old hospitality specialty architecture and interior design firm. We do brands and hotels all over the country, and actually some international as well. I went to the University of Florida for a bachelor's in design and architecture. I went to the University of Maryland for a master's in architecture, and also Johns Hopkins University master's in real estate development.
I'm assuming you've testified before boards?
Yes, all across the country, including California.
Okay, we'll accept you as an architect.
Okay, Mr. Rosenberg, did you prepare, foster, and prepare architectural plans that were submitted as part of this application?
Yes, I did.
Okay, would you please now present to the board your plans?
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it, and happy to be here. Just a little brief recap, if I can. Market being our pedestrian entry, if you will. It's 230 feet from the green. It's a walkable community, and we believe that piece is really the walkable part of the project. The vehicular side is Bank Street. Just to relieve the congestion of the market, that's really the prime reason for doing it. Let's get it over there, because we know the issues that are in town. So that was very important to us in the way we laid out the building. Brad had mentioned earlier about the massing of the building at 100% of the lot. When you plan in downtown environments, whenever possible, you want to bring those buildings to the face of the street. So we're finishing the street on both facades. And you'll see some photos of what I'm talking about. There's a specific reason in a minute. I'll show you. This is just to show you Market Street right now. We believe it to be one of the most important entrances into the town. It's modest, a little disorganized, haphazard, likely, if you will, but especially those buildings on the site that run from, you see these 4 buildings here that we have. Which is really not a desirable use in a central business district in any town like this. Essentially it's 6 stories on Market Street, maybe 65 feet within what's allowed. The average grade, which I'm going to show you in a minute, part of the requirement would be 70.5 feet. Average, based on the average grade plane of Bank and Market, average around all the property lines. I'll give you the basement. The lower level, which is on Bank Street, is the secondary entrance for where the valet is, or people just parking in line to come in that way. They just have to be from that side once they get familiar. So we have the pool, it has the fitness, the amenities, that nature, but it also hides all the back of the house. One of the best things about this property being 3 sides underground is that all that back of house administration is not in the front windows. It's not using the valuable, precious retail field space that allows us to really free up the first floor of what we call Market Street. Except for when I get windows along the back street, on Bank Street, where I can do my loading on the right-hand side here. As you see. And then I have some electrical and other rooms, and then basically the pool and fitness area. So that's a public side, but everything else is buried. All the laundry and everything else. most important things we did was we brought all of the uses that are public to the front of the room. We have a little coffee-style pub feel, very elegant. We show some pictures of what that would look like. Some loose tables. It's really an amenity for guests. There's a little bread and go market in there. You can come in. You're going to feel welcome. I'll show you a couple of photographs as well. It's two small meeting rooms. Maybe it's 1,500, 1,400 square feet. It's really for small groups for people that are staying at the business. It's really a business hotel. And then it will pick up, because of the room layouts, which are very spacious and light and airy, we're going to pick up some weekend business for the wedding folks and families that come to town as well. So this is just to give you a feel of what we're doing. At arrival, you're greeted. You have many choices of what to do. It's a clean room. It's going to be warm and elegant, hard and soft materials with good texture. The lighting is going to be very important. It's important that we get glass to the street. We want to welcome you in, and the interior is going to be customized to the city, to the town, to Morristown. There are various comfortable gathering areas for eating and working and relaxing. As part of the art program, we'd like to, what Cambria does as a brand, they like to explore the idea of bringing art, whether it's Instagram photographs or local photographers or local artists. So it may say, hey, I'm going to zoom in on the art, just an example. So maybe it's Jockey Hollow, or maybe it's, Washington headquarters or something like that. And maybe that's, and I'm not saying that's the art, I'm giving you that aspirational. The idea is let the local artists curate the art specifically for the town to basically get the people in this hotel to want to go explore and want to go walk Morristown. We want to bring the city in, and we want to bring you out at the same time. So there's nice little gathering areas here. The coffee pub, if you will, is really, it's not a local pub. It's closed at 11 o'clock. It's really an urban chic hip feel. Mostly for guests, and just to catch up with colleagues. Maybe you just get there a small plate, small bite, then you go out, then you go walk and go see a show, and then you go out and have dinner in town. It's really the intent to support and to add to the town. A little weary travel at 11 o'clock at night, but we have to put something right before the close. And there'll be, or you can get a sandwich in the shop if you're staying at the hotel and it's 11:30, 12 o'clock. You get a sandwich or something if you grab this year coming in for the late flight. But it's not a 7-Eleven. It's a convenience coffee house feel. It's really for guests. Sustainability is going to be very important to us. Lighting is very important. Low flow, efficient toilet fixtures, LED lights, high performance windows. Energy is a big concern for us as well. Good light, good air, good spaces. The guest room floor, as you see, we had to fit a lot. It's this type of program, this upscale select service hotel has a very tight program. Usually they like to see 120 keys, 120 to 150 keys. People for the economics of having the bar and the pub, and the coffee house and the sundries and things of that nature, and the materials to give the quality level that we need to be. It's not super rated, not brand. That brand has an absolute place in the market. But this brand is intended to compete with the Hilton, Marriott, and other brands in this tier. So like a lifestyle brand. 117 keys, or guest rooms, keys for the snobby hotel people like me, like the word key, guest rooms. We made all of the rooms out to the windows, and we were able to create some light wells for some internal rooms as well. And it's really given a tight site, and this very narrow piece across the top here. It really worked out well. It took a lot of work to Chinoir in our golden program that has to go. It's an 86,000 and change square foot building with at 117, so it's about the low end of making this thing buildable, if you will, to get this program in here. Again, clean, modern guest rooms, amenities, a spa-like bathroom, light, airy, spacious, comfortable. This place to eat, this power, millennial friendly, if you will, for our next generation of travelers who have the next money to come visit us in the next 20 years. And rich flavor, if you will, to inspire the building. Brick, stone. We looked at the master plan at length. We studied it. We had, outside council and other people in urban planning as well that we've spoken to over the years in doing this in various towns to really be sensitive, to really come up with like an industrial loft kind of a feel that seems to be where we're seeing the other buildings down the street having to feel like they have to look at the traditional proportions, cornices. But most importantly, it's a walkable, human scale, retail feel, pedestrian scale kind of a town. And we really want to make sure that we bring that to the hotel. This is more for detail. We want to make sure that we have rich materials, bronze windows, arches if need be. And again, it's just looking at details and what's in town. And one of the best parts of this is Cambria as a brand is they allow for their prototype to be adapted for urban environments. So this brand has been done. I've been lucky to work with the brand on some of their prototyping, and I've been working on about 4 others in some other cities, and every one is different. So I didn't do these other ones, but I'm just giving you examples. White Plains, high traffic. This is Times Square. This one in Chelsea. Brickell in Miami's got a Miami feel. It's complete. It's what's right for its name, but Rockville.
You're pointing to your screen, but that doesn't help us.
Yeah, how about if I do this? Rockville, how's that? Can I help you?
That's better.
I like that. I appreciate that. White Plains, Times Square, Rockville, DC, and New Orleans. What's nice about the Rockville, Washington, and New Orleans is they have this beautiful blade sign, which is a nice urban element from the same time period about some of these buildings here. And we see this really making it an identifier for the hotel to really let people know where it is. And in this day and age of travel with websites and all of that will be worked out in operations to get into that and how well you're going to know where to go, where to park, where to walk, how to come in, and ops is going to take care of that when they come to testify. Yeah, I should use the pointer. Thank you. The metal canopies, good signage, good light, tie rods. We looked at some other precedents. Again, bronze windows, canopies, tie rods, brackets, arches in various proportions. But basically very traditional in feel. We thought the Chelsea market was a nice example, really using good rich brick. Again, nice rhythm of windows, pairing and grouping of windows. And again, all this related to the kinds of things that we felt were right with Morristown. So we did with a lot of work, and we've been on this for a while. At Market Street, basically we'll have your entry piece here, pedestrian if you will. The restaurant has the ability to say open up. It's decided that's what it would be. And it's not a sit-down restaurant, it's 38 seats or something like that. But basically you can see all of these windows would have action, would have something in them. You can see people inside, you're going to see people coming out, coming in, and you're going to see activity. The lighting on the street is it's a narrow street. The sidewalks, it's not very long. Starting to put light poles in that street really doesn't work. So making sure that we had some romantic sconces or something that really lighted, given safety, really make it feel comfortable even in the later hours. We're doing some issues as well. It's primarily a brick facade, similar to what we're seeing around town, with some stone accents, bronze windows, storefront retail feel, pedestrian scale, almost like they almost could be stores. It's got that feel, but you know that all these activities are happening. And then above, it's got that industrial warehouse look and that blade sign. So market, you can see, you'll be able to see this more from the building train. And again, just another view from the other side. It's really a very approachable, warm building that you really want to go in and explore and see what it's about. So we'll be 65 feet on this side, 6 stories. It's really been customized to everything that you want to see. We believe that really weaves in nicely with the fabric of Morristown. the county seat here. It's urban, it's hip, it's chic, it's an industrial loft, it's got the stone accents, there's some herringbone gray accents in here. If you can see the detail when I zoom in on them, you can see that on the screen very well, and you can. So, it's stuff that we felt really reaches back to the period of this, but yet it's built with modern technology and energy efficiency in mind, and just materials that we're going to believe are going to be lasting and timeless. One of the things in the master plan, we saw that they like to see 40% glass on the first floor. This is 52% glass. On this floor and on Bank Street, when I showed you, it's 46% glass. So it's trying to adhere to the intent of the master plan. That's really the goal, is to really read and understand, and really listen to people from town that we've been talking to this weekend, really understand the town that we have to like to do. And on Bank Street, this would be basically where the valley would happen, and the loading dock would be down at the end of the block. It's going to switch over to the next page, because I think it shows the loading dock better. It's really to give you that feel. So the average of the two facades, based on the average mean grade, is 70.5 feet, so it's less than 10% of it, which makes it a C variance under the zoning code. So I believe it meets the intent and spirit of what the code is trying to do, and the master plan is trying to do. I think that's it for me for now. Again, thanks for having me.
Any questions, Mr. Chairman, further, but we, of course, make Mr. Rosenberg available for questions from the board of professionals.
Okay, why don't we start with the professional? Any questions? Mr. McDowell?
In looking at the information that was provided, it's a little confusing because when you look at these renderings to figure out exactly which buildings are disappearing and which ones are staying. Perhaps you could have a picture of Market Street and
Yes.
explain which ones are coming and going.
Let me show you that. Thank you. Good question. You can see the two buildings here, and I believe
Went blue.
I went blue again. The screen. There we go. I'll get that. I'll make another version. All right, these two buildings. You see these two buildings just to the south of us. You're going to see I believe.
Yeah, those are the with the
ones that are
with the
left.
pebble dash.
Right, and the ones that are next to it are where that next project is going.
Right.
So those two remain, and then here's the firehouse.
But how about you show us a picture?
I'm going to show you that right now. So I just wanted to show you where I was on the rendering. Second, that.
So just to orient everyone, I mean, this is Cambria Cafe, that building is going, and the three smaller lot buildings next to it. I think one of them was a place that had a haircut, and the white building there as well is going. So
That rendering is right here from the tan building, the white with the blue roof.
How about you
gotta point
use
it
your
down.
cursor?
Use the pointer. Tan,
Please.
tan building, you know the names. The white with the blue roof, the little California loft thing here, and the call it vernacular, which is the only way I can describe it is supposed to be.
You know, we can't hear over here.
No, we
I don't know why
can't
the
hear.
mic is not on.
It's
No, the mic doesn't work.
amplification isn't working. You'd have to speak up.
I apologize, I did not know that, or I would
It
have,
was announced earlier in the meeting.
my fault. So, my apologies, did not realize that. This is the buildings are from this tan building here, where the line is on the screen, all the way to the firehouse. That's where the facade of the building would go. Does that help? I apologize, I did not realize it was out.
So just so everyone knows, the Cafe closed about a year ago, I would say. Now, next to it was high-end barbershop. That has moved to South Street. Next to that is a smaller business. I'm not too familiar with that. I believe they're not there anymore. Then there's a Peace nail and hair salon that I believe is still in there.
No, I think that's right. And I would just point out that the white little small building there, that gentleman went out of business and had a tough time you know, sustaining a little company that refurbished computers. There is a nail salon there, as Frank pointed out, as well, to the south of that little white building there.
And I can show you, Ben, if you'd like to see the same comparison.
By the way, the leases have expired on all of those buildings.
The bank line goes from the edge of the Mission that's there now. There's an open parking lot, which is the site. So that's the first part of the site. And then across on the back of Bank Street here at 18, sorry about that, at 8 used to my apologies. On the back of Bank Street where all the white windows are, and right where the windows change from white to bronze, that's the property line. So the brick with the bronze will remain, and the brick with the white would be gone. And then I'll show you on the rendering where that fits. This is the building with the bronze windows right here, and this is the Mission on one side, on the left side. Is that good? I apologize for my voice. Traveling and speaking, my voice is shot.
And just so everyone knows, that where the bronze windows begin, all the way up to the now almost completed Fox Rothschild building, is also the subject of a redevelopment. That's a redevelopment project in that zone. That's not before the planning board yet, but all those buildings are slated to be demolished as well, assuming that project moves forward.
Another thing that's not very clear in the information that you provided is the context of the residential buildings across Market Street and where the walkways are, as well as where the residential units are. The parking garage across Bank Street is not that significant in terms of the impact of the building and the architecture and any kind of illumination that might be there, but I think it would be helpful to understand where the new development on Market Street is relative to this proposed development.
Yeah, let me see if I can show you that on the site plan. On the site plan, I should be able to do that.
Yeah.
The entry door is the park between these two buildings on
Courtyard.
Right. The entrance would be right under the K and E of Market, on Market Street. That's where the entry would be. The next project is being built, starting right about, actually right here. The parking garage is all of this.
Yes. So if you just move your mouse up to the top building here, across the street, just so everyone's aware, that's the 40 Park condos, and then further down is the apartments in the back. No? Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the condos, and then the apartments as we move down.
That's that.
These are the apartments. Does that help?
No.
The one I'm circling now is the condos, right?
Correct.
These are the condos.
Right.
There's a little plaza between the condos, and then these are the apartments. So it's primarily across from the apartments, a little bit across from the plaza, just to the end, about where that tower of those two first arches on the right-hand side of the building would be. You would see that from the plaza. And once you're out in the plaza, you're going to see that canopy. The blade sign is probably about where that S in the street is, the word street. And if you need a better exhibit for the record, we can submit something a little better with the neighboring properties on it.
It might be be advisable to have something like a 3D model that you can move around and manipulate and say, this is what you see when you're in the plaza, this is what you see looking down the street, this is how you would see the
And that's why
blade sign.
And that's why I did the up and down views.
Right.
And that's why I purposely gave you 2 views of each. If
A
each one I get down low.
A
I can
3D
make-
model would be
Yep.
very, very
Yep.
helpful
See
for
what we
this
do.
project.
Yes.
Mr. Mixell, any other questions?
No.
Mr. Farley?
No, I gave my comments when Mr. Bowler presented this testimony. The only thing, just piggybacking onto Mr. Mixell's comments, particularly the blade sign, how it would impact the adjoining property, the adjoining resident, or the adjacent residential property, the 3D model would be helpful. If it was going to be a particularly bright blade sign, and you had the residential properties right across the street, what would impact units in that residential property?
Yes. We have a very similar issue, right? I have guests that have to sleep, and they have to have dark rooms. It's very important that the blade sign is really done tastefully, and we'll work with engineering in the city to make sure that the lighting levels are at acceptable levels. You'll have the ability to improve the signage package. We know that's important.
There's frequently restrictions on the hours that signs can be illuminated.
And we can figure that out too. We're really looking forward to working with the town. That's the goal.
Mr. Gandy?
I just had a kind of a question. From what I'm looking at the elevations and the obliques you had before, the new building is going to be taller than any of the structures that are currently there. Is that right?
Yes.
On both frontages?
Yes.
How does that compare to the building going in on the corner where Bank and Market re-merge?
It's a five-story building.
They're 5, the next one's 6.
So you all are going to be a little higher than them.
Yes.
A little bit higher.
A little bit.
If you happen to think of it when you're doing the rendering for, even if it's just the pictures on here, it's kind of nice to look down the street, see your roof line and their roof line by comparison.
Yeah, you want it in context, something that shows you
Yeah,
in
right.
context.
Try to do a full
I know it's
street.
not fully done yet, but
Yeah.
We can do that.
We can do that. Cities tend to grow and have life, and they go up and down, and that's kind of what makes them nice. And I think given the program we have to get into this thing, we jammed it in as tight as we can. So, but I appreciate the context is very important to us.
Are you taller than 45?
They're actually higher than us because they're 7 on market and we're 6 on market.
When we talk about new sheds, I'm concerned about on the bank side, with Bank Street being roughly 24 feet wide and having 7 stories there and whatever the parking garage, 7 stories. I'm concerned about the canyon effect. I wonder if you can show what that might look like, or if it's going to be, perpetually in the dark.
So you'd like us to do a perspective from the Bank Street side too?
Yeah, I think they'll do, just to alleviate any concerns of creating a canyon effect.
So obviously the concern's not people in the garage looking
No,
from,
no.
it's the look as you're going down the street. Is that the, okay.
Discuss.
I don't know if this is a question for the architect or for our experts, or maybe it's going to be some
Ask
other.
it and we can figure it out.
All right. On Market Street, no, on Bank Street, would be the northern tip of the property where it extends into the existing parking lot.
It's the full width of the parking lot.
Parking lot, okay. I believe there's some ductwork that come out of other buildings that go into, like, kind of come down into that parking lot. So would that impact that ductwork if it's supposed to be venting and now you have a building up against it? Will there be like odors that would then get to the hotel, or will it block some of that venting?
Yeah, the goal is to work with the neighbors, because if they're on this property, then if they're on their property, then it will not be an issue. We'll make sure it goes upward. If they're on